We are live, at least according to live stream here and according to StreamYard. Hello there, Renee, and hello there, Judy. Glad that you both could make it here. Just let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can hear the sound in the background, and then if you can hear my voice okay, everything sounds okay on your end, just let me know. Um, Let me just kind of read what Renee is saying. Been heck of the last few days. Worked last night, got home, watched Bert on spine ticks, and got 4 hours of sleep before I had to get back up. Yeah, that's kind of rough, Renee. I can hear you though. Good, I sound good. Perfect. Thank you. Hello, Raf. Thanks for popping in. You did not miss anything since we just started a minute ago or so. So I am just kind of welcoming everybody in. Hi, Raf. Hi, Renee. Hi, Judy. So far. Um, I'm going to take this off here for a second. I hope everybody is doing well today. Judy, on your comment about my my last short with my humongous tuxedo and the purple praying mantis, yes, I did put that in for NPP or for DL. Yep, I did. Hopefully, if she ever sees it or when she sees it, she will remember that also. Hello, Sydney Cat. Hope you're doing well, friend. Hello, Fong. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for popping in, also, Sydney Cat. I appreciate it. I'll obviously give, I don't know, maybe about five. Yeah, it's one crowded bed, right? I'll give a few minutes here, let people kind of trickle in. I'm gonna take myself kind of minimize right now, so you can get the full effect of the very crowded cat bed. Those of you who have kitties, um, sometimes that's what it feels like, right? We have a king size bed, and even with a king size bed, with our cats, that definitely it's crowded like that sometimes, or it definitely feels like that. Raph, it's not my bed in particular, but that's how it feels like sometimes with all these kitties. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for popping in, friend. Hope you're doing well today. Have a few things to discuss today, a few topics. I know Nick from Whole Southern Food, she kind of wanted to talk about some just cat behavior. So we're going to go over some cat behaviors. Um, we're going to go over some other stuff like that. Hello, NPP. Oh, NPP. I wanted to. I don't know if you saw my latest short, but whenever you do, if you want to, check it later today. If you want to go check it now, totally up to you. But if you look at my latest short, it has my humongous tuxedo, and it also has a friend in there, something that we talked about, I think, on your live maybe a week or two ago. So you might get a kick out of that whenever you see that. I wouldn't mind having a bed like that though. That's that's a lot of cats in there. Hello there, cool gamer. How you doing? I think your name is Eric, right? Cool gamer. I think I saw a couple of streams ago on somebody's live. Just wanted to make sure if your name is Eric, or if you just want me to call you cool gamer, just let me know. I'll go with what you want me to call you. Hello, Tranquil. Thank you for popping in, Tranquil. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, I'm trying to count the cats that are on that bed. I think I'm not sure. I'd have to actually stop and concentrate and not talk to see how many cats are on that bed. I would say a good 15 to 20 or so would be my guess. Jennifer, feral cat that was said that you were limping a couple weeks ago is better. Perfect. So probably like maybe like a sprain or a strain or something, Jennifer. But I'm glad that kitty is all better now and is walking normal again. Thank you for letting us know, Jennifer. NPP, no worries about that. Just be safe at the store and driving, and we'll catch you later. We'll see you a little later. Tranquil, the same. Be safe, especially at Walmart. Walmarts can be some interesting places, no doubt. So just be safe there, and we'll see you a little later too. Hope everybody is having a good day. It's a little warm out here in North Carolina. I'm not sure what the weather is like. I think NPP, if you're still on here, you said you're a little cold, but in NC, we're at about 70 degrees almost, so it is a little warmer out here. We're having to start having to use the air conditioner, the AC a little bit in the house again. But of course, my motto kind of for the stream, as you can see, the sooner you realize that cats own literally everything, the happier you will be. Hi, John. Thanks for popping in, friend. Hope you're doing well today up in Canada. Hope your kitties are doing well also, John. Renee, back up to 80 degrees in Texas. Well, Jennifer, it's a gorgeous day where you live. It was 65 and I got back from a walk. Awesome. NPP is saying you've had some difficulty with YouTube this weekend. What kind of difficulty, NPP, if you want to share? Sydney Cat, yes, that is definitely a heat wave in Chicago. my my wife used to live in the area like Villa Park, Elmhurst, so she would consider that to be a heat wave also. Hello, Nick. Thank you for popping in, Nick. Hope you're doing well. NPP, I hit the like button, but it doesn't light up. Um, I don't know. Is anybody else experiencing that issue that NPP is it talking about? Hitting the like button, but it doesn't light up like normal? I have not experienced that myself. Nick, you have a live later today, correct? I just want to verify that, and definitely I'll pop in for that. I think it's at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Just want to make sure, but definitely I'll pop in, and I'll just promote that also, Nick, at the end of this live. I think we might have somebody else at a live too at 7 o'clock, but I'm not sure. Bum, 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 bum. All right. So Judy is saying that sometimes happens to her also. Raph is saying that also sometimes happens to him too. So I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen that before. Sometimes I'll see where it doesn't like add, yeah, but I don't know. What else is NPP? Black screen chat, screen's not working. Black screen on my Premiere. I'm not sure, NPP. I guess that's just YouTube being a pain sometimes, like it is. Oh, say so. I guess there's two lives then. For those that are interested at 7 o'clock time frame, we have Rev Rat Rides has a live. I'm assuming on mental health again, and then I think, as far as I know, Nick also has a live at 7 o'clock also, where it's kind of like a hangout and I'm not sure, Nick. You can obviously, if you're still in the chat and you want me to, I can post what your live is about if you want. I just know it's kind of like a hangout session, just kind of talking about life, stuff like that, as far as I know. Excuse me. All right. So, anyways, there's a few lives going on tonight. I mean, there's lives pretty much all the time now, and just you go and you support the best you can. And if you're interested in both people having a live, then you catch the one if you want to live, and then you just catch the replay on the other. That's kind of my thinking as far as lives go. If they happen at the same time, it happens. Just my opinion. All right, I am going to give another few seconds here, and then we're going to get this show on the road. We are going to get started on discussing some stuff here, some topics. And hopefully, I didn't have any questions down for this week. So if anybody has questions as this live goes on, then just feel free to put it in the chat. And as a chat, we will talk about this. Obviously, I think as everybody knows now, this is the third one of these. I definitely love the engagement with the chat, people discussing, people asking questions, because that's what this is all about. I do happen to have a lot of experience with cats, 30 plus years, working in multiple animal hospitals. Um, and having 9 right now, but that doesn't mean that I am an expert. Everybody can contribute, everybody has their advice, everybody might have something that I'm not thinking about, or something, a different way of looking at it, and that is completely encouraged and actually wanted to have a kind of a lively discussion as far as the kitty cats go, and as far as why we're all here, because everybody here is a cat lover and a kitty parent. All right, let's go ahead. Let me just look at something real quickly, just on my phone here. Just need to check something. Okay. All right. Let me, and then I always like to put like a couple like kind of did you knows, just something kind of interesting to see. Maybe you knew these things, maybe you didn't, but I find a lot of these things to be kind of interesting. So I'm gonna hide my face for a moment. I'll make myself invisible, so everybody can see these things clearly. Just a few interesting things here. Like, did you know that cats can make over 100 different sounds? Did you know that cats can sweat, or cats do sweat through their paws? Cats can see color. Dogs can too, actually, even though people think dogs are colorblind, they're not. And that female cats can start getting pregnant at just 4 months old, which is crazy when you think about it. Let me put, Raph is saying, I heard all 100 of those sounds in the middle of the night. That must be with Pearl Jam, right? He's your nighttime kitty. He keeps you all awake. Renee, who is also very uh, has a lot of knowledge with cats too, that she knew all of these things. And yes, cats do make a lot more sounds than dogs. Um, Judy, I didn't know that they could make that many noises. Raph, Pearl Jam loves the nightlife. He's a man of the night. He gets around the house at nighttime. And then Jennifer, I didn't know about the 100 sounds, but Annie makes about 50 at nighttime. Nice, nice. All right. So just some interesting little things there. Nick, hopefully you're still here, because some of the things I'm going to talk about, you're asking in particular as far as kind of like certain behaviors. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Certain like cat behavior, stuff like that. So let me move here. Oh, before we do that though, hopefully everybody can see this on the screen. Earlier in the week, because I feel like this is pretty important actually. So I wanted to start with this actually. Earlier in the week, um, I had a poll out, right? And as you can see on your screen, if you can't see, then I'll read it. If you're not watching your screen and looking at chat, that's fine. But are you familiar with the term cat Kahu? So there was about roughly 30 votes, 27, and 19% said yes, and 81% said no. So I wanted to lead with this because I think kind of how we see ourselves as cat parents is incredibly important. I think it's an important discussion to have also. I'll give a few seconds for chat to catch up here, because I know there's obviously a little bit a delay with these lives sometimes. So I wanted to talk about this and language here for a moment, because it's important to me, and I think when you see the next slide, you'll understand why. and hopefully it'll start to become important to you too. Um, Language is key, and education is key to me. Okay, I think everybody saw this, and I think everybody heard me by now. So the reason I'm going to make myself bigger here. I wanted to ask this question because I think how, as a pet parent or a cat Kahu, you see yourself is important. Because if you say that you're a cat owner, I think that there's an issue with that because you can't own a cat, right? I mean, I know some people think that they do own their cats. Same with dogs, but you don't own a kitty, right? You own a house, or the bank owns it, or you own a chair, you own a table, you own a car. Um, Renee is saying that she's a cat mom. Cool. Uh, and this is definitely the truth, isn't it? That Sydney Cat owns you. So if anything, it's the opposite. We don't own cats, but they definitely own us for sure. But I think if we think of ourselves as cat owners, it's not the same. And I'm going to show a slide here in a second, on like the definitions, the definition difference between a cat parent or cat Kahu and then a cat owner. And then we'll get on to some of these topics. Yeah, definitely, Renee. It does make perfect sense that your cats own you. That does make perfect sense. You pay Pearl Jam a monthly fee. Nice. And I'm not going to hit on this too much. I'm not like gonna anybody who's listening to this. I'm not going to like hit people over their heads or anything like that. But I do think language is important, an important topic to talk about. Probably one time. Hello, Dirk. Thanks for popping in, friend. Hope you're doing well today, wherever you're traveling at, and wherever your place is at right now. I hope all is going well. Yeah, definitely Fong. Cats own my king bed. Cats own pretty much everything in the house. It seems like very true, very true. So let me take that off. I'll let everybody say hello to Dirk. Welcome in, welcoming in Dirk. So this next slide here, and I'm going to make myself invisible again. So, and I'll read this, and you can read it also. But this is just the important thing. That's why I said this is important to. It's important to me. Um, but if you, as you read this, cat owner. So, a cat owner means everyone or every person in possession of or harbors any cat, or who shall allow any cat to remain about his or her premise for a period of at least 30 days. That is the technical definition of a cat owner per the dictionary. And that's also how most governments think of a cat owner. They have it as this because, unfortunately, hate to say this, but pretty much every government that I'm aware of, because I did research a little bit this during the week, at pretty much most governments, the big ones, like the big, big countries, they all think of cats as property. And I'm going to make this small for a second. And I personally, I can't see a cat or a dog as personal property. It's not something that's like a personal property. It's not like a chair or a table. Chair or a table, they have no hearts, no lungs. They can't breathe. They can't feel. They're not conscious. They're not sentient beings. It's an inanimate object, a table, a chair, a video game system, a cell phone, right? That's something that you can own. You can't own an animal in this sense, but the governments think you can, and that's how they do their stuff. Another kind of sad thing I wanted to talk about real quickly: if somebody killed a cat or a dog, an animal, purposefully or not, the most that they're going to get, if they're committed, I mean, if they're found guilty, it's just 3 years, 3 years in a jail, in prison, or a $20,000 fine, or maybe a combination of both. And that's it. And I personally think that that should change. To what, I'm not sure, but I think if somebody's out there killing cats on purpose, whether it's 1 or 20 or 100, then I think that that needs to be a bigger punishment. I would almost say, just like with human life, life in prison or the death penalty. I do feel that way, and I know that may be a little harsh for some or a little extreme for some, but I would stand on saying that's I think what should happen to them. Because again, this is still this is life that you're taking away, that you're cruelly taking away. And I think probably most people know, maybe you don't, but there has been a proven connection between those who purposely hunt or kill animals, whether it's dogs, cats, fish, birds, whatever, squirrels, mice. There's that connection between that and killing humans, um, unfortunately. Hello there, Bert. Thanks for popping in, friend. I hope you're doing well today. So, anyways, I know this is kind of a difficult conversation. I think because it can make people a little bit uncomfortable talking about this a little bit, right? Cats, fluffy, cute, stuff like that. But this is something that I feel like needs to be discussed. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk about this for too long, but it is something that I do want to talk about. Uh, I just feel like that there should be some stiffer punishment if you're purposefully killing an animal, a dog, a cat. I just don't think that this should be tolerated in this country, but unfortunately it is because our government feels like cats and dogs are personal property, and that's it. And that is a problem. So, saying all that, let me show this again. So, I said the definition of a cat owner. Now, the definition of I'll see either a cat parent or a cat Kahu is that word Kahu, excuse me, as you can see, is it's traced in Hawaiian origin. So I really like the Hawaiian culture. It's just implying that it's the most intimate relationship between a human and feline, or human and canine, right? Um, you are their guardian, you are their protector, you are their steward, and you are their advocate. There is more to it, but I couldn't squeeze everything in. And essentially, it's somebody that's entrusting the care of something that's precious, and you bear those responsibilities of their well-being. You bear the responsibilities of taking care of them. You bear their responsibilities of making sure that they're safe, that they're healthy, that they're being taken care of physically, mentally, emotionally. Hello, Bridezilla. Thank you for popping in, friend. I hope you're doing well here. Um, so, anyways, that's kind of it for that. I don't want to harp on this too much or act like I'm, kind of lecturing this, but it's very important to me, to start to kind of change the language of how people see themselves, not as cat owners, but at the very least as a cat parent, a cat mom, a cat dad, or a cat Kahu. It's vitally important to me to start to kind of change the mind and change the heart, and then we can start to advocate better for our feline friends and our feline family members. Let me put up what Jennifer has here. Hello, Burrito. Thank you for popping in, friend. Hope you're doing well. My daughter's neighbor, when she lived in North Carolina, shot one of her ferals with a BB gun, and he got a talking to. That's it. Luckily, after months of recovery, she is fine and now an indoor cat. Yeah, and Jennifer, just to pop off of that a little bit. Hello, Southern boys. Thank you for popping in, friend. Hope you're doing well today, Southern boys. Just talking about all things cat here. Um, it is actually legal, and things might have changed, but as of at least when I was doing my research, as of a couple years ago, it is actually legal to shoot feral cats. There is no crime to it. There is no penalty to it. There is nothing. So a person could legally shoot feral cats, and there's no consequence whatsoever. That might have changed. I'm not sure how old some of this stuff is, but again, that's not living in a supposedly civilized society, right? That's just there's something wrong with that. It just is. Let me pop here what Renee says. All I'm going to say is if I catch anybody harming any of my cats in any way, that you will not be responsible for your actions. Yes, because you are their mother. I mean, you obviously didn't give birth to them, but you are their mother. Yeah, Bert, hopefully everything went well with Spine Ticks. Hope you had a good show with that. I might catch the replay sometime, but I have not yet. But I hope everything went well on Spine Ticks. I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. I'm sure you had a good time. Yeah, Jennifer. Again, and you can double check on that too. Always do your own research, right? Because I could be wrong. I could be mistaken. That's the thing. That's the other thing I want to do with this is, if I'm wrong on something, then please put it in the chat and we will discuss it. And because I'm not perfect and I am not right on every single thing. So just double check if you want to and do your own research. It's always good to do your own research. All right. Welcome back, TL. Hope you have a good dinner there that you're making. All right. Okay, so that's it. That's kind of my PSA, my spiel announcement as far as cat parents and cat Kahus and cat ownership. Jennifer is yeah, the police weren't so much help even with all the neighbors saying they saw him. Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's not a crime. Killing feral cats is not a crime across the country, unfortunately. Feral cats. I guess because they have no owner. But anyways, let's go on. Yeah, that's just they said don't do it again. Yeah, it's like a slap on the wrist that doesn't mean anything. Okay, now let's talk about a few cat behavior that I'm sure if you all have cats, you've probably seen every single one of these. So let's chat a little bit about these. The first one, chattering. All right, now I'm sure everybody's seen their cat chatter. I can't. I'm trying to make like the noise here. The chip 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 chip. There, beep 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 beep. That's my cat chattering noise. You can loop that and make a viral video out of it. Probably not. I'm not big enough for any of that. But chattering though, they usually chatter at birds, right? Or they chatter at squirrels, stuff like that. So why in the chat? Why do you think cats chatter? Why do you think that behavior is? What do you think the reason of that is? Why do you think they do that? All right, let's see what people are saying here. Let me get up a little bit. Eek, 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 eek. NPP, they are excited. Judy, that your little kitten does that a lot. Sydney Cat, nervous energy when looking at something. Raph, imitating. Jennifer, I think they are trying to tell us they want something maybe. Burrito, really? Burrito doesn't do that at all? No, like trilling or chirping or nothing? It's interesting. It's interesting. Renee, it's a prelude to the hunt. Yeah. So good answers. And all of them are not. They're all pretty much more or less right on. So it's a little bit of instinct, right? Now, especially if they're indoor and they're seeing a bird fly around or something, it's a little bit of instinct. It's a little bit of being excited. It's a little bit of everybody's kind of answer. A little bit. It's something they want you to kind of like. It could also be like a territorial thing. A little bit. They're just like saying, hey, you're in my, you're in my property, right? Or my property. You're in where I'm at, and I don't like it. And if do you think you guys, if your cats like saw a bird inside, would they attack it, or would they Would they be afraid of it? What do you think they would do? I think it depends on my cats. Some are cowards, and some are I think would be vicious predators out in the wild. But Burrito was saying nothing, no sounds or anything. That's interesting. Raph, nothing. Pearl Jam is afraid when he's outside. When you take him like in that backpack, right? Sydney cat. Sydney would paw at it and then run. Kind of a slap and then run, huh? Nice. What about Alice then, Pearl Jam or Raph? Does Alice also hide? Or is kind of afraid outside? Lucy would hunt it down, no doubt about it. What about Leo, Renee? Not so, or Leo. Leo also would, so both would. Okay. Judy, your kitty would be scared. Yeah, I think I'd have a combination of those who actually probably wouldn't even care, to those who would like be on the hunt, to those that would be hiding underneath the bed. So I think it depends. Alice doesn't seem to react. Okay. Jennifer, I'm not sure. I think Cleo would probably go psycho on. Yeah, because Jennifer, you have 5 cats. Is that right? Just trying to remember. I think it's 5, 4 or 5 kitties. Bert, Rocky, if let out the front door, would sprint like an idiot for about half a mile. I know he does that on purpose. He's like, you got to go, Daddy, and you got to chase after him. Nice. Okay. Okay. Yes, Bert. We'll include Billy and Rocky. There'll be honorary cats on this in this shows. Okay, and Jennifer, you had 5. Okay, perfect. All right. So next, and again, I'm sure everybody has seen this. Rubbing. Another kind of pretty normal cat behavior would be rubbing. Rubbing on anything, rubbing on everything, rubbing on you, rubbing on your clothes, rubbing on the chair, rubbing on a cat post, rubbing on the carpet, rubbing on walls, rubbing on showers, rubbing on cardboard boxes. Why do we think these cats rub? What do we think in the chat? It's all this rubbing about. And again, I think I might make this kind of like a weekly thing as far as these behaviors, because I think it's if somebody pops in and maybe they don't have cats, or maybe they are thinking of adopting a kitty and maybe they have some questions. I think this will be a good place for them to kind of learn some of this stuff. All right, so Raph is saying leaving their scent, and Jennifer is saying marking their territory. Renee, definitely all about marking their territory and claiming their space, which is everywhere, right? Sydney, 2 reasons. The first is for scent placement, and secondly, that it feels good. And maybe. Judy is marking their territory. Bert, that's a lot of rubbing. I think they're trying to generate electricity to fix their hair. Or they're trying to generate electricity to help lower that electric bill. Let me see. And then Burrito is thinking that they also mark their territory. Okay. So again, obviously, y'all have kitties, and yeah, pretty much scenting, right? So, rubbing this, usually they rub like with this part, right? Like, I'm getting a little closer. Kind of rubbing their sides of their face, usually, right? Like where their whiskers are. So it's releasing that pheromone. They all have their own special pheromone, or their own like unique Let me get the right thing on here. Here we go. Their own like unique scent. So when they're rubbing on something, like y'all are saying, it's claiming that territory. It's marking that territory. It's putting that scent because you probably notice, especially if you have more than one kitty, have multiple kitties. Do you ever notice that your cats will, like, say, I don't know, for me, like for example, when Rosemary is out and about, we have a dumbbell that she constantly rubs on. She rubs her head all over it. When she goes back in, and when the others come back out, Yoda, he goes right back to that exact same dumbbell because he can smell that pheromone, he can smell that scent, and he then rubs it, right? Because he's now marking it as his. So if you have more than one cat, I'm sure you probably have seen that before, where um, they're constantly like rubbing and trying to put their scent on it or on you, right? Your cats will rub on you too. They'll rub on your clothes, they'll rub on your skin. They will mark you as theirs, as their territory. Let's see what Bert is saying, that you miss cat rubs. Your dogs just ram into you. They're clumsy. Cats are precise in all of their movements, like little samurais. Yes, very true, Bert. Um, Renee, most people don't realize. Oh yeah, definitely. So there is God, what is it called? I think it's called like V1R or R1V. It's like receptors, and they're the most like sensitive parts. And cats do have more of those little VR1, I think they're called, receptors in their noses than dogs do, and definitely more than humans do. Cats can actually smell you from a few miles away. They can smell your particular scent. There's been some studies and some documentation on this where they can smell you a couple of miles away and know that you're coming from a couple of miles away. It can be even further if depending on how the wind is flowing. So it's kind of interesting that kitties can smell that far away, several miles away. Dogs have great noses too, but yes, technically cats they have a more sensitive nose than a dog does. So very true. All right, so let's take that off. How about, and again, if anybody has any questions or this is all kind of like impromptu a little bit. I mean, I do a small amount of planning of these things, but very minimal. And then it's just kind of like just as the chat goes, as the discussion goes, it'll change things. So what about this third one here? When they bring you quote unquote gifts, what do we think that's all about? When your cat brings you a gift, a quote unquote gift, what do we think that's about? Why do we do that, you think? Especially if they're outdoor, indoor. Indoor cats don't necessarily really bring you any gifts, but well, they could. They could bring you toys, mice toys, balls, stuff like that. But it's typically the outdoor, indoor kitties that'll bring you some more special gifts. Some of those little critters. So Raph is saying that you find it in your Skechers all the time, like little mice toys and stuff like that, Raph, and that they want to play. Jennifer, Annie, and Cleo bring me gifts every night. I think it's the show appreciation. Okay. Annie brings me her fish toy, and Cleo brings me big scrunchies. What kind of fish toy is that, Jennifer? Is it like one of the? Let me make myself a little bit bigger. Is it like one of the bigger fish toys, or is it like just like a small fish toy? Because there's those big fish toys that you can put catnip in them, and the fish, you can turn it on, and the fish goes like crazy. The tail goes back and forth. Let's see, Renee. The only gift my cats bring me is their toys when they want to play or when it rains, and we get those big water bugs in the house, and Lucy hunts them down and drops it by me. Nice. Jennifer, it's a small fish toy that makes a crinkling sound. Okay. Okay. Nice. Very nice. So, the actual reason, and that is true. They definitely they it's kind of like a a show of appreciation. Hello, back again, Tranquil. Hopefully everything went well at Walmart. It's definitely can be some appreciation. It could also be, and again, with a few of these things, it's not like it's just one thing. Some of them, it's multiple things. Um, this one can be appreciation, and it also could be that they're in their mind, they they're you're kind of like part of their group, if you will, or you're part of their pack, in a sense, and they're bringing you this gift because they just want to say, "Hey, I brought you this. You know, excuse me. Come and eat it. Come and partake in it. Come and like it." So it's a little bit of appreciation, and it's a little bit of them kind of initiating you into their group. You're part of their clan. You're part of their group. Um, so, but a little bit of this and a little appreciation and just a little bit of just kind of initiation with that. So, all right. Let's see. How about this fourth one? This is a problem that I have with a couple of cats, and I'll talk about it in a moment. But eating non-food items. So think like eating plastic or eating paper, eating just eating something that's non-food related, eating pieces of cardboard, um, stuff like that. So what do we think? Why do kitties do that? What do we think the reason is why these kitties do this? And while we're thinking about that, let me pop up what Renee has on here, that she's noticed that female cats are much better hunters than males. Males tend to be the more lazy hunters. Yeah, Renee, I think, and if you notice, because cats, right, they have, I think it's like 95% of their DNA is connected to tigers, and I want to say both lions and tigers. But if you think about it, like you go to the big cats, right? Who does the hunting? It's the females, right? They do all the hunting, and then the males, they kind of are in charge of the pride, if you will. They're like the king of the jungle, if you will, right? So the females in that aspect too, they do all the hunting. The lionesses, what would a female tiger be called? A tigress, tigress, I think. Um, so it does make sense that those female cats are much better hunters or more active hunters than their male counterparts. Let's see. Tranquil is saying that she has one that chews on plastic for microwave dinner. Um, Jennifer, Annie used to do that as a kitten. My vet, and I was just gonna. Yep, I was. Vet called it Pika. Most likely because she doesn't have her mommy cat and she had to bottle feed. Um, Tranquil also agrees with Renee that, or has noticed that females are better hunters also. Raph, I don't think Alice and Pearl Jam eats it, but they will chew on things. Huh? Just the chewing, and I said eating, but it's kind of like the chewing and kind of sometimes the eating, or definitely the chewing on stuff that they necessarily shouldn't be chewing on. Oh, and I'll talk about dogs too as far as chewing. So if you're here, Bert, we got something on doggies too as far as chewing and eating things, especially eating things. Um, Judy, I'm lucky that mine don't chew on things except for their toys. Boredom or Pika on the eating of non-food items. I catch Leo chewing on stuff, but not really eating it, thankfully. Okay. So, with this eating or chewing, I should have put chewing on there to make it a little bit more, make it sense more, make it make more sense. So yeah, the chewing, it is a term, like Jennifer and Renee, you both were saying that term is called Pika. I have a few of our cats that will they'll chew on these water bottles. Sometimes they've chewed through these water bottles and we didn't notice. So when we go and get a water, it's like half empty and the water's like all over the ground in our pantry. Um, our baby, our other calico called the baby, she will chew on plastic, she will chew on carpet, she will chew on string, she will chew on cord, she chews on everything and anything. She is a big chewer, and the reasons could be boredom, the reasons could be stress, the reasons could be anxiety, the reasons could be they just like to chew things. um, I have noticed the baby. She is definitely a little stress ball. It seems like calicos are more stress like than other I was gonna say brands, other cat brands, other cat breeds. The calicos are the more stressy ones. Whoever has calicos here, let me know if you have a calico and if if you notice them to be a little bit more stress, a little bit more tense, just a little bit more anxiety ridden than your other ones. I've definitely noticed that with ours. Um, but saying all that, our orange cat, Mr. Tang Boy, he chews and digs up the carpet. I think for the baby, he pulls up the threads and then she goes in because it's a two cat thing here. He pulls them up because that's his thing, and then she chews them. Thankfully, like none of our cats have really swallowed anything. Oh, and Yoda. Yoda's dumb. He'll also he didn't chew anything. We've had little like pieces of tape him non, and thankfully I got to it on time, and I had to open up his mouth and pull it out. But we've also had times where he would chew, he would swallow, and we just have to wait a couple of days, and thankfully he poops it out. Uh, Yoda's a special boy. He is a special little boy. Let's see what people are saying here. Jennifer is saying Cleo must be a calico. Or she's a Torby. Okay, a Torby. But she's high anxiety. Tranquil is had a kitty cat, a calico that's very anxious also. Um, Hello there, Robert. Hope you're doing well today. I hope you're feeling better, and I hope you're, feeling stronger and healthier day by day. Hope you're doing well today. Thank you for popping in, friend. Um, Tranquil, I can never fully bond with her. She was dumped off in my yard. Okay. So I wanted to talk about with dogs also in that just briefly. So in my time working with some animal hospitals when I was there, we would have some cats come in and they had swallowed something, so they had to have some surgery, right? They had to open up their tummy out. They had to open up their tummy and they had to get whatever, whatever it was that they swallowed. But dogs, dogs. So Rocky and Billy and anybody else who got dogs here, um, here are some of the items that dogs swallowed that we had to, not me personally, but just being in the animal hospital that I heard that they extracted. Does anybody know those? They're called Kongs. Kongs, you fill them up with like peanut butter. They're rubbery. They come in the color red, but not always, and they can be filled up with peanut butter. They're called just Kongs. They're like this big or so, and you toss them. They chew, and it's just something for them to kind of chew on and get the peanut butter out with their tongues. So Kongs are one thing. Um, Batteries, double A, triple A, 9-volt batteries have been removed from dogs' stomachs when I worked at vets. Um, One of the more funny ones, women's underwear, and I don't mean just like one pair of underwear. This dog had about 4 or 5 pairs of underwear that they chewed and swallowed and had to be removed. So, dogs and chewing and swallowing is an interesting thing. Let me see here what Renee is putting on here. Rascal used to chew up headphones and microphone wires. Leo likely Leo liked to dig up the carpets like Tang, and then chew random pieces of plastic. Lucy, thankfully, is not a chewer. Yeah. So, but I hope that no one's cat starts to chew and eat things that they shouldn't, non-edible stuff, especially, because the bill is not is not a it's not a pleasant bill. It's a very expensive bill. Um, yes, this is getting to be a steamy live now, talking about women's underwear and stuff like that. I got to bring in the people, right? um, but I just had to mention that part as far as dogs go. It's just how it is. They are a special bunch. Anyways, yep. So now that I got everybody's attention here with underwear, let's see, what is Jennifer saying? My niece's cat swallowed a sewing needle. Oof, 3,200. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Jennifer, that's what I'm talking about with the expense. It is not a cheap thing for a dog or a cat to swallow something. They have to open up the tummy. They have the surgery. Um, they have the aftercare at the hospital, usually for a week or so. So it is definitely expensive. Um, yeah, it's expensive. So, yeah. But anyway, so be careful with whatever you're giving your cat or your dog. Make sure that it's not something, if they do happen to swallow it, it's digestible, or something that's not toxic either. Okay, let's see here. So the last one that I have on here, again, everybody's seen this, kneading, right? Kneading either the air, kneading a blankie, excuse me, kneading your tummy, right? Sometimes kneading your face, sometimes kneading your head. So kneading, why do kitties knead? What do you think? Give a few moments here. Let everybody type in what they think as far as kneading goes. And again, there could be definitely more than one answer here. There could be multiple reasons, is what I meant to say. So Sydney Cat, comfort and love moves. Okay, getting back after dark again, talking about underwear and love moves now. um, Raph, I think it means they were removed from their mother too soon. Miracle needs every chance that he gets. Uh, Jennifer is for comfort. Bert, that's Pearl Jam's job at the factory or the bakery. Renee, kind of a way to revert back to comfort they knew as a kitten. Burrito, what if he doesn't need? So Burrito doesn't need. Are you sure you have a cat I mean, I've seen the cat. It looks like a cat. Is it being disguised as something else? So Burrito doesn't need, nor do they make any noises like chirping or trilling or anything. Very interesting. Um, Miracle also sucks on the blanket. So again, this would be after dark, but so yeah, so kind of like we'll get on that in a second as far as that suckling on the blankie. Um, Judy, it is comforting for them. Um, Tranquil, I think they see their person as the mommy cat. Yeah, Burrito. So I don't understand. I mean, you got a kitty here. We got Burrito here that doesn't need nor makes any noises. It's like, are we sure this is a cat? Is it a robot or something? I have to know some cats that don't need. Yeah. Yes, he is indeed a weird cat for sure. Okay. So all good answers. So again, there's more than like one right thing or correct thing, if you will. So it can be for comfort. Um, it can kind of initiate back when they were weaning on their mother, on their mom, um, on their teat. Right. Again, I guess this is after hours. It's a different show here today, but suckling on the mom's teat, um kind of just getting that comfort, that sense back then, something that's secure and something that just feels like, hey, I'm in a good, safe spot here. So yeah, definitely, guys, pretty much right on as far as that go. Let's see, Lucy also sucks on the blanket when she sleeps next to me. That's sweet. That's sweet, Renee. All right. Burrito purrs at least. Okay, so he's mostly a cat then. He's young though still. He'll learn. He'll learn. He needs to get a partner though, probably. Another kitty cat. All right. So yeah. Um so with needing, it's a comfort thing. It's getting back into excuse me, getting back into that age when they were kittens and they were weaning, excuse me, on their mom, stuff like that. So pretty much you're all right. Now, let's see. We kind of went through these topics pretty darn quick. So, questions. Are there any questions that anybody has cat related? If not, I can talk about a few other things though. Um, but are there any questions that anybody has? Maybe over the topics that we talked about, or maybe they just have a random question right now. Um, anything we would like to discuss? I do want to talk about diet though also a little bit more. Yep, Raf, go ahead. What's your question, Raf, that you and your wife discuss or debate, I should say. All right. And then Jennifer, I'm gonna get to your question also. Why do cats get a bleep? I'm I'm not sure I understand what that means, Jennifer. Why do cats get a blip, a bleep? Can you rephrase that, Jennifer, if you don't mind? I'm not sure what you mean by that. So yes, Raf, I definitely think that cats do know their names. Now, the bigger question is, um, why they don't come to their when they're being called, right? But yeah, I do think that they do. I think that they can. I think they have the capabilities that they do know what their name is. Now they choose though not to listen to you, right? You call them and they'll not come or somebody else will come, right? The baby that I was talking about earlier, they she comes to everybody's name. She's a very intensely jealous cat, so we'll call her. She comes. What we call Max, she comes. We call anybody. She comes. So yeah, I definitely think the cats understand their name. But the thing is, they just may not come. Hi, Icon. Thanks for popping in, friend. Hope you're doing well today. But yeah, I definitely I will say that they do know their name, and I think I saw Renee. And Jennifer, I saw your question or I saw your blip, and we'll get to that. That they don't necessarily, I'm not sure if they understand English, but they have, oh yeah, so tone. So if you're talking like sweetly or if you're talking sternly, you'll notice that they will, almost like a child, right? They will stop and they will kind of listen to what you're saying. I agree with you, Renee, as far as that goes. Now, Jennifer, as far as the blip, so that's a that, right? Or sometimes you've seen kitties do like this, like they're licking the air, right? From my understanding, from what I've seen, and I did do a little video on this a while ago, they're doing that, or they're licking the air to taste the air. It's something to do with like the cat's tongue. They're able to taste the air, taste like the particles that's in the air. It's weird, and then they'll kind of get that look to them, right? You've probably seen they get something smelly, right, or something kind of funky, and they'll like crinkle their nose up and kind of look like that. So it's tasting the air. All right, let me check around. Let me just check on the chat here. Everybody's saying hello to Icon. Tranquil. I know they don't come when called. There's something better. Yeah, like a can of food, right? Okay, so hello, hello, hello. Okay, all right, but yeah, so definitely, I definitely think that cats definitely do know their name, and it's just they may not choose to come to you. They're being a disobedient little child. And Raph, yeah, so I have definitely seen, and it was on your one of your like premieres where Alice just constantly has her tongue out. Maybe that's just her look. Maybe that's just that's her style. That's her look that she likes. So Renee, Lucy will also fall asleep with a blip and wake up with a blip. Burrito, they can also stick their tongue out like dogs when they are. Oh, so panting, right? So panting, or sometimes that's to relieve like stress. You might see that at the vet. Pandora, recently when she goes to the vet, she gets kind of stressed out a little bit, so she pants to relieve that stress, and also to kind of to cool down a little bit. To, also, um, Jennifer, Athena has a daily blip. She sits next to me and falls asleep she falls asleep sitting with her tongue out. Okay. Well, those are always little cute little moments. So, okay. All right, let me see. So any other questions? Oh, is if you're thinking about other questions, so I wanted to get back on diet real quickly, because a diet is one of those big issues. Um, when it comes to diet, uh, again, kind of like last week, I did a little bit more kind of digging into stuff as far as diet goes. It can definitely lead to health issues. Um, it can definitely lead to um, diabetes. It can definitely lead to hyperthyroidism. It can definitely lead into heart issue. It can definitely lead into a lot of issues. So, again, what can be done with that? And I'm not 100% sure. Besides just making sure, like, if you read your food, like your cat's food when you buy it, if you read the ingredients, right, trying to make sure that there are as few as ingredients, as few of ingredients as possible, the less the better, and especially trying to make sure that the first ingredient is a protein, right? An actual real protein, like chicken or fish or beef or lamb or whatever, just an actual real protein. Hi, Bert. I appreciate you leaving Billy here, and you start that lawnmower with your daughter. All right, thank you, Bert. But definitely just making sure that first ingredient is an actual protein, and to make sure that there's not a lot of byproducts in there too. If you're looking through the ingredient list, and it's got like 50,000 ingredients, that's an exaggeration. If it has like 50 ingredients, you might want to try something else. Or if like the top ingredient isn't protein, then I would definitely maybe look into something else also. um, I need to do some more research into protein. Homemade is the realistically, either like having cats like hunt, right? Like their natural instinct to go hunt. Um, or trying to make a homemade diet. But again, homemade diet though is difficult too because you have to make sure that these kitties they get the proper vitamins and some of the proper nutrients that they need. So it can be tricky with like stuff like amino acids and stuff like taurine, um, phosphates a little bit, some of that kind of stuff. So it's definitely tricky when it comes to diet. I definitely need to do some more research on that so we can discuss that a little bit more. Let's see, Jennifer saying diet is so important. Only Athena and Annie have weight issues. Athena is good now, but Annie is still on a diet and doing well. Well, good. That's good, Jennifer. Let's see. So Renee, a safe standard is the first five ingredients need to be real ingredients. Yeah, like meat. Avoid and trying to avoid grains as much as possible. That can be sometimes kind of tricky, but cats don't really need vegetables and stuff like that. Uh, their thinking is like if they're out in the wild and they get these grains. Hello there, Rev. Hope you're doing well, friend. Nice of you to pop in. Hope you're doing well today. If they're getting grains from the natural source, like when they tear into the animal and they're eating their stomach, they're eating their what they ate, and that's kind of where they're getting those grains from because a rabbit, a mouse, or whatever is chewing on grass or chewing on something, and then the cat is getting it that way. It's just not natural for a cat to go get corn or go get peas or to go get carrots. It's just not a natural thing. um or not Rev, Raf. This reminds me of a question on weight. So what is your question? What is your question, Raf? Ideal weight, I'm assuming. Okay. So is there a right weight? Yes, there is. It depends on the cat. It really depends on the cat breed. It depends on genetics. Excuse me. Alice is 9 pounds and Pearl Jam is 12 pounds. I think it also, yeah, it can depend on their age, of course. Now, if okay, let me put it like this way. Um, and Rev, go ahead and you can answer your question, Rev. Or you can ask your question. I mean, I'm sorry. So as far as weight goes, as long as this is tricky, right? So a Siamese cat, for example, like Pearl Jam, they can be anywhere from 6, 7, 8 pounds, give or take, to about 10 pounds roughly, 10, 11 pounds roughly, and be in a good weight, right? Um, Another cat, like say a Maine Coon or a Norwegian forest cat, they're big, right? So they're going to be bigger. It's not going to be unusual for those type of cats to have, you know, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 25 pounds. So, a cat is overweight if you can't, when you're kind of feeling, let me kind of stand up a little bit, when you're kind of feeling around their ribs and you can't feel their ribs, then they're going to be overweight. If you can't feel their ribs or like by their hips, if you can't feel these bones, like these rib bones or their hip bones, then you're overweight. Or you can see, right? I mean, everybody's seen an overweight cat. We probably have a couple that are kind of on the pudgy, chunky side ourselves. Um, Now, it's the same thing the other way around, though, is a cat can be too small also. They can be underweight. And being underweight can also cause health issues just like being overweight because they're putting a strain on everything more. And again, underweight is kind of going to those hips or going into the ribs where you can see the bones, right? Um, so underweight, overweight. Let me just say, kind of overall, an overall weight probably for most domestic short hair kitties, 10 to 12 pounds. And I think Jennifer maybe said that. I'm not sure. I saw it somewhere in the chats. We kind of scroll up a little bit, but I'd say like 10 to 12 pounds give or take, is a good range. It depends on so many things though. It depends on breed. It depends on age. It's just there's varying degrees of what is ideal. And also, some vets are going to say, hey, this cat is overweight, but no, this cat is just big and bulky. They're just a big cat. So it also is going to depend on that. Um, it's kind of like humans, right? What is the ideal weight for humans? I mean, obviously being big and obese is not good for you. It's not healthy. But being skinny and having no weight on you or being underweight can cause just as many issues as being overweight. So it's a balance. But 10 to 12 pounds. Bigger cats like Norwegian forest cats or Siberian cats or Maine Coons, a good 20, 25 pounds. Like John, I don't think he's in the chat right now, but John, his kitty, King Louie, he's, I think, 23 pounds, and that's about right. That's what he needs to be. Let me just scroll through the chat here. Let me put this up real quickly before I forget that. Um, Hello, Melinda. Hope you're doing well, friend. Thanks for popping in, talking all things kitties today. Um, okay, so Rev, to answer your question, what is my favorite cat recipe? So I don't make food myself, Rev, so I don't make like homemade food. I am thinking about it, maybe, but right now I'm not. So I don't necessarily have a favorite cat recipe. Now, do you mean like a favorite cat like food or like a favorite cat brand? By your question, I don't necessarily have a favorite cat recipe because to be honest with you, it depends on what the cat's going to eat, right? I mean, and it can change. But I would say though, sticking with your chicken, sticking with your beef, sticking with not a ton of fish because too much fish can be bad and too little fish can be bad, so it's kind of tricky. But I don't necessarily have a favorite cat recipe because in the end it comes down to what the cat eats. Now I will talk about cat brands real quickly, but let me before I do that though, let me just go through the chat and make sure I'm not missing anything. And I will get back to that also, Rev. Um, so as recent visit, Annie was 9 pounds, Cleo was 8.5, Daisy's 9, Athena's 11.5, and Annie, I think I said Annie twice. So Abby, and then Annie is 14. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I think we're good. Um, but yeah, to answer that weight question, I would say like 8 to 12 pounds, but on the higher end, depending on the bigger breeds, because they're bigger, so they need that weight on them because they're just a bigger kitty altogether. Hello, Martha. Thanks for popping in, friend. Hope you're doing well today. Talking all things kitty here. Let's see. I just kind of putting in what Jennifer's putting in. She was previously 16 and a half. Okay, and she got down to 14. She was very tiny in her size, so 15 was a bit high. Hoping she gets to about another pound or two. And that's another thing. If you have multiple cats, like I know you do, Jennifer, and I know Tranquil obviously has a few. I know Raph has his two. Renee has her two. I tell you, it is a challenge. It is a challenge to try to get everybody in a good weight, especially if, like me, you put down dry food all the time, because I do. Because if we didn't, then there would be a mutiny on our hands. Um, it is tough doing dry food, and it is tough trying to maintain a good weight on everybody. Our cat weighs they're anywhere from Rosemary, who's obviously small, she's like 5.5 pounds or so, up to oh gosh, Yoda is probably our biggest. He's about 15 pounds, but he's a big cat though. I mean, as you can see, he's on this picture here, so he's a big kitty, but he's about 15 pounds or so. He's not fat. He just he's a big old kitty. Um, But yeah, weight is definitely tricky, especially if you have more than one or two cats. It's a challenge to try to get a good weight on everybody. All right. Let me scroll through the chat real quickly. I do see a question down there, Judy, so I will get to that in a moment. She was losing zero point 0.2 pounds a month on her diet. The vet said nice and slow. That was the way to go. Just like a human, right? Nice and slow, slow and steady. Um, Leo is 13.5 pounds, but he is very tall and lanky, and he's in a good weight for his size. And Judy, so Adam, don't they normally lose weight? Yeah, so absolutely they do. Um, so Judy, to answer your question, and if others are thinking about that too, yeah, once they kind of get into that senior age, and cats starting being seniors at like the age of 10 or so, it is not uncommon from the age about 10 or 12. Let me put Yoda off here for a second. Sorry, Yoda, take you off for a second. Um, it is not uncommon from the ages 10 and onward to start losing pounds. Now, if they're losing like a lot of weight, then there's something going on. In other words, if say you have a 10-pound cat, I'll give our example of Pandora. 2 years ago, Pandora was 10 pounds at age 10, right? Now, she's now age 12 and she is down to now 8 pounds. So she's lost 2 pounds in 2 years. That's why we're trying to figure out what is going on with Pandora. We know that she is hyperthyroidic, so she has a hyper issue. So that's a problem. But we also got to figure out if there's something else going on with her overall. But yes, older cats will tend to lose weight because they don't have to eat. They don't need as much fuel in their body. So they will definitely lose that weight. Absolutely. It is normal. But just be careful though, because if they're losing too much weight, then there might be some medical thing going on. And that's where, blood work, um, probably not an x ray, but blood work, an ultrasound, stuff like that will definitely come in handy. Um, but yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Judy. Let me see what Martha is saying. My older kitty used to weigh 14 pounds. She now weighs 10. It happened over the course of about 5 years. Okay. And she got sick. So that's not as bad, Martha. I mean, that's like, what, 4 pounds in 5 years? And she's and she was, let me see, how old is your kitty right now, Martha? If you don't mind putting in the chat. Sydney Cat is big boned and curvy, like Marilyn Monroe. She'll keep her figure, right? Um, Tranquil, it is so sad watching a cat getting older. It can definitely be challenging, Tranquil, and heartbreaking and heart wrenching watching an older cat get older, right? Because then you have to take care of them more. Sometimes, they might make messes in the litter box or they may not get in the litter box. And you, as a good cat parent or a good cat who, you got to attend to them. You got to wipe their butt. It's kind of like having a baby or having an older human. You are more responsible for them. And that is the hard part, but that is kind of the I think it's the most one of the most responsible parts of being a cat parent is taking care of them when they get older. Um, so, all right, Martha, she's 14. Okay, so she's 14, and now she weighs 10 pounds. Does she seem sick at all, Martha? Does she seem like, I don't know, she's not doing well, your kitty, or does she seem healthy? Any like uh, unusual amounts of vomiting or diarrhea or not eating or anything like that? Is she overall in good health, like blood work wise and all that stuff? Yes, they are definitely family for life, Jennifer. Completely agree. When I see another thing, I mean, it's these like discussions can lead like into different topics, right? So, and this is something I need to talk about next week. Also, is the cost of um the cost of being a cat parent because it's not cheap. The cost of taking care of a life from whenever you got them until they pass on. That's something that I feel like a lot of people don't seem to understand is the cost, the financial cost that goes into taking care of this life that you're entrusted with. Um, from a kitten, if you got them as a kitten, into middle age, into senior, and then when they pass on, the cost of the financial and the emotional toll that it does take. Um, Let me see what Tranquil is saying. I've done that many times. I've had cats who've been older. And Rev, it's mostly a cat show, but I will definitely like with yourself and with Bert and whoever else has got doggies. Doggies are also so you're a dog parent. I'd be a cat parent or a cat Kahu, and you'd be a dog Kahu or a dog daddy, definitely. Martha, yeah, I just took her to the vet because her flea meds don't work anymore, and she got worms, so now she has to be prescription flea med. Okay, and then if she has a worm, she'll also need a dewormer. Then, also Martha. But yeah, it can be rough. You know, old age. You know, getting old is not fun, right? It's not fun for us, and it's not fun for it's not fun for the kitties or for the doggies. Martha's or not Martha, Tranquil. I spend way more on my cats than I would on myself. Um, yeah, the price of the price of being a good cat parent or a good dog parent it costs money. So it's something I think next week, I want to dig into a little bit deeper. It's unseen. I think people they bring in a kitten, for example, and they think, oh, they'll just take care of themselves. It's like, no, you have so much things you have to do. You have to ensure that they're healthy. You have to ensure that they're happy. You have to ensure that they're taken care of. You have to ensure that they have proper vaccinations. Um, you have to, give them toys and make sure that their mind is active and healthy. Um, then you have litter and you have food and you have treats and you have toys and maybe you have pet insurance. That's another thing we can talk about is pet insurance also. All right. Let's see. So vets are expensive. Yes, vets are definitely they can be expensive. The work can definitely be expensive, Judy. I completely agree with you on that. Completely agree with you on that. All right. Um, let's see. So does anybody have any other questions at the moment? If not, then I'm going to talk about some cat channels. I think everybody knows most of these cat channels. I did add a few more in here. Um, I'm kind of just making a longer list here. I stopped at C, but I do have a few kind of like cat shout outs, some cat other cat content creators and other creators overall that I just like to talk about for a moment. So yeah, precious little kitty turned up in my house a few days ago and really love to keep her, but can't afford any more pets. Yeah. Hopefully, Martha, that kitty uh, will be adopted out. Maybe it can go into a rescue group for a while and get fostered. And maybe somebody in the foster group will wind up foster failing and bring the kitty in for them. Yep. Okay. That's what I was thinking too. A kitten rescue is coming for him tomorrow. Perfect. Good. And I've worked in a few. I've not worked, but I've volunteered. Me and my wife have volunteered in several kitty rescue groups. Great people. They will do anything for these cats, and our thing was mostly just fostering them, and it's just Rosemary's Tale. It's an experience unlike any other. I will tell you, fostering kittens and fostering cats. It's very nice. It's hard not to grow an attachment to them and to want to keep them on. And out of our 13 altogether, 9 current and 4 that have passed on, out of all of those, we we foster failed multiple times and probably will. Yeah, I can kind of maybe turn this around just a smidge and you can kind of see her a little bit here. This is usually what she does. She got her meal a little bit ago, and then after her meal, she needs to spy on the neighborhood. She's got to be that neighborhood spy, that neighborhood watcher. She's a nosy little cat. She's always seeing what everybody's doing. We don't have too active a community though, because it's a small subdivision we live in. But she definitely likes to spy on everybody. Hi, honey. Don't ya? Yes, you do. I know you like to spy. Hi. Okay. All right. Okay. Rosemary the gossip. Yeah. Pretty much, Raph. She is a nosy little kitty. Okay. Um, so like I was saying, I'm trying to kind of create a list of cat channels. Now, I think because a lot of us are connected with each other um, either through the Modern Day Breakfast Club or through other just various like cat connections, right? I think most of us already know these channels or most of them, but I always like to highlight them and kind of just talk a little bit, just briefly, a few moments of kind of like what each channel is brings to what I see, and just to highly recommend these channels to kind of check out if you haven't. But like I said, I think most of us we know these excuse me, we know these these channels. So everybody, Four Cats in a Mountain Shack. That's obviously a good friend, John. He's got his four cool kitties, Louie, Itzerman, Raven Poe. I can't remember the last name, but good channel, good person. They got their bluegrass music. He's got his unediting technique, but you know, so Rev, I appreciate you popping in. I hope you have a good show. I will definitely pop in there, Rev. And I hope you have a good show, and we'll see you in a little bit, Rev. Thanks for popping in, friend. So, and again, you don't necessarily have to subscribe to these channels. So please don't get the feeling that you have to, just because I'm showing these channels, that you have to necessarily subscribe to them. If you want to, that's totally up to you. But just on my end, it's just something. Hey, check them out. If you like them, great. If not, then that's cool too. It's just something I want to kind of just do a little bit each week, is just kind of highlight some of these other channels. But it's up to you though in the end. So anyways, and then obviously after John, we have Raph, who's in the chat now. Everybody knows Raph with Alice and Pearl Jam. Love his editing techniques and his storytelling. Good channel, great person. Always good to, it's always fun to watch their videos to kind of see what they're, what mischief they might be getting into, and to see them kind of grow up before our eyes is always kind of a cool thing too. See how things change and see how, you know, how things evolve with Alice and Pearl Jam. Bye, Judy. Enjoy your walk. Stay safe out there. Obviously, it's a dangerous country nowadays. You never know what can happen when you go anywhere anymore, it seems like. But be safe. Thank you for coming in, and we will see you later, Judy. Thank you. Um, Ahu, I can't say this one properly, so but AYU Kahu official is a channel that's out in Indonesia, and they do some lives. They have some videos. They have some shorts. Um, they do some. I see a lot of kittens on their channel. So I don't know if they do like fostering or not. They might. They might not. I'm honestly I'm not sure on that. I have to kind of find some more information, because as I do these, I want to get to know a little bit. I'm gonna put my face on again for a second. As I do these, I want to get to know a little bit more about some of these channels, just kind of what they bring, so I can talk about them a little bit more. Um, all right, so let me get back to this. I can't say this. AMZIL, Mzil, Emil is somewhat of a newer channel that I saw. They do mostly shorts, but I kind of like. It seems like they do. There's a lot of strays, it seems like, on their channel, and they feed the cats. So anytime a person I see they're feeding a stray cat, I'm gonna look at that, and I'm gonna kind of highlight that or showcase that. Burrito the cat, I don't know. I honestly I don't know. That's why I said I got to do a little bit more research to kind of dig a little deeper and get some background information because that's what I'd love to do too. So maybe, but I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure on that question. Burrito. So the next one, Ari Kunanen. I'm bad with some some things. Or I'm just gonna say Ari. Ari is from I want to say Finland. Now Ari is a little bit different. Ari might actually have a cat, but I'm not sure. But what Ari does, he draws cats, and he has like a little cartoon thing going on. I just think it's kind of cool. He might have a cat himself or her, but I think it's a male. He draws cartoons though. He draws like a cartoon cat, and yeah. So Sydney, you know who I'm talking about. Because I've seen you two chat kind of in some of my comments before. Yeah, so I just think he's not, technically you may not have any cats. I don't know, but I think some of the, like the little cartoons that he does with Arturo, I think the name of the cat is, and then his like girlfriend. I can't think of the name right now, but I just think it's kind of cool with this like little story that he has with these two little cats. And I think they're getting married too, Sydney Cat. I think there was a post I saw from him. He's telling people, yeah, Pamela. That's it. That's the girl's name, the girlfriend. I think he's trying to get people to figure out or to decide like who like the minister of the wedding is supposed to be. Um, on a post today. All right, so let me look at the next thing. Obviously, we have Burrito the cat here. Burrito's in the chat at the moment. Um, does shorts. I hopefully Burrito, you maybe do some long forms eventually. But if shorts is working for you right now, then that works too. But maybe sometime, maybe get some long form videos out there. But obviously, we have Burrito in here, and I think everybody knows Burrito over the last couple of weeks. Um, I don't. Let me go on to the next one here. I think everybody knows Cat Friends, or most everybody knows Cat Friends. I think Cat Friends has like 6 cats, I want to say. And again, just has content of her kitties. Does shorts, does long form. She was in the dance challenge also, the modern day breakfast dance challenge that Raph and Bert, I think mostly Raph though, put together. She was in there. Um, that was cool to see. But another good channel, I would say. Um, Obviously, I think almost everybody knows Cat Penny. Now, this isn't the talking Cat Penny. Bailey, okay. All right, Raph. I will. Let me write that down. Let me give that. Just give me hang with me for a second. So Bailey, because I like to start calling people by their names too. Those who are comfortable with it, if they're good with me calling them by their name. I just think I don't know it. I think it builds like a deeper connection if you know the person's name and you can start talking. Like hey, this is Joe from Joe's Cat Show or whatever, instead of just the channel name. I just think it builds like a deeper connection with the cat community. So that's Cat Friend. So I was saying Cat Penny. Now there are kind of there's two cat pennies. There's the talking cat penny, and the channel name I think might be called slightly different, but there's the talking cat penny, right? Where the mom, the cat mom, she kind of talks for Penny, and then there's Cat Penny. Now Cat Penny I know passed on a little while ago, but now there's Maggie, and I know there's Mike, who's the cat dad. I do know his name being Mike. Um, yeah, Burrito the cat. If you want to put your name in the chat, then feel free to. But it's only if you're comfortable to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But I can write it down though. But yeah, so there's Penny the cat, the talking cat, and then there's Cat Penny. So two separate channels. Um, Let me see this next one here. Okay, so let me write this down, and I will probably mispronounce this Burrito the cat, and I am sorry if I do, but because there might be some kind of like pronunciation issue with it. So is it Wime, Weem, Wime. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it the wrong way, but is it wine? It's fine because I'm used to it because in France. Okay. All right. Well, I will study that, and I will maybe go to like Google. I'll put it in Google, and I'll see how Google pronunciates it. You have to pronounce the A. So Wame. I'm not. I'll work on it. I'll work on it for next time. I appreciate you though, being comfortable enough to put your name in the chat. I appreciate that. Let me take that off for a second. I walked away from the computer for 2 minutes, and when I came back, the computer was shut down, and Athena was looking guilty. Can't trust her around the laptop. Yes, burrito. I tried, but I will work on that for next time. I promise. All right, let's get on to. All right, so this is a channel. I'm not sure if Renee is still in the chat or not. She might have went somewhere, or maybe she's just kind of hanging in the background, which is cool. Cat Lady Natasha and the Mew Diaries. Another good channel. I do like that channel. Has and the thing is really, as long as you're not doing something stupid with cats, to me there really isn't a bad cat channel out there. So I'm just kind of highlighting the ones that I know of and the ones that I'm subscribed to. Um, so, but another one, you might be familiar with her, you might not, but Cat Lady Natasha and the Mew Diaries is another good channel. Oh, you're still here, Renee? Okay. Yeah, Renee, I'm just talking about Cat Lady Natasha. I know of maybe a month ago or so, you put like in your community post, trying to kind of help this particular channel and this creator to get some more subscribers. And friends, whatever, bananas. So I just wanted to highlight her in case anybody's, maybe want to check her out. Feel free to. Cats in Counseling. This is a channel that has one kitty. The kitty's name is Rabbit. Rabbit is a orange tabby. I'm pretty sure Rabbit's a male because, like, most orange tabbies, not all, but more orange tabbies are males than females. Um, Let me get to what Martha is saying. So, what do you think of Three Southern Cats and Mama? Something like that. I think it's funny. So I think it's a little bit like the talking cat penny, that channel, the one where the mom talks and makes up a voice. So I haven't seen this one in a while, but I am familiar with them. There's three cats, right? And they all have like a stiff, different Southern accent. I think it's funny, so I don't mind it whatsoever. Because to me, it's not like you're not like you're not abusing cats. You're not putting them in situations where they shouldn't be in. You're not endangering them or anything. Um, so uh, I'm good with that type of channel. Oh, she has four now, Martha. Okay. Tranquil just getting back on the female, the orange tabbies. Okay. It's just from my experience. I've mostly only known male orange tabbies. So I think it's a little bit like calicos. You know, there's obviously like a 90% of calicos are female. It's something like in their DNAs, they turn calico or they turn females. And I think orange tabbies, there's more male than female, but I could be completely wrong on that. Maybe I'll look it up and correct myself if that's the case. Um, Let me see. Heard that orange tabbies are rare, but okay, okay, and that could be the case. Tranquil. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not like a walking encyclopedia or like somebody that can't make mistakes, and so. But all I've had are just been males. Um, okay, let's continue here. Obviously, oh yeah, cats in counseling. Like I said, cat named Rabbit does mostly shorts. I would check him out and just see what you think. But to me, another good channel. Um, what is Martha saying? One is a catnip pusher on the street corner. Okay, nice, nice, Martha. That's kind of their job, I guess. And then Martha had one female orange tabby named Butterscotch. With orange tabbies, it's weird. Even though it's kind of all the same, there's orange tabbies, right? But there's like a variety of different types of orange tabbies. So there's like ginger, orange tabbies, yellow tabbies, cream tabbies, and there's like five more that I can't think of right now. But just under the like umbrella orange tabby, there's different types of orange tabby. So it's kind of unique. It's kind of different, I think. All right, let's get on to the next channel. And well, I didn't realize I had this music going on the whole time. I'm gonna actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep that playing. I think that music's fine. Nobody said anything, so I think we're good on the music still. Okay, Cats for Nelson. Obviously another good channel. Somebody that's in the Modern Day Breakfast Club. Um, Louise is her name. She's got her five kitties. I know I'm gonna make a mistake and not remember one of them, but I know there's Beans, Percy, Scarlet, Ralphie, and the one that I'm missing I can't think of. Beans, Scarlet, Ralphie, Percy, and the other one I can't think of it. I don't remember. But anyways, that's Cats for Nelson. Really good channel, and I really you a kind person, and would again I would recommend. Um, Next here, and again, this some of these channels might be new to you because I was alphabetizing them. I wanted to start alphabetizing these channels. And let me get the music back on here. Hold on a second. There we go. Uh, so the next one, Caddy and Friends. So Caddy and Friends, obviously another kitty channel. Um, Caddy and Friends, I've known for just a little bit. I haven't known for like too long, but they put out some pretty cool videos. They have, I'm trying to think here. They have six. They have six kitties right now. The cool thing about their channel is, like a lot of these channels, and a lot of us, they are all of these cats are rescues, which I think is really cool. So every single one of these cats on their channel is a rescue, and they're all tabbies. Um, Caddy is the mom, and then there are the five babies. I don't think they're babies anymore, but they do a lot of shorts. They do a lot of videos. So another really cool channel. Check out. Let me put it back up here. Caddy and Friends is another good one. Again, you might be unfamiliar with that one, so just kind of give it a try, give it a look, and see what you think. Next on here, kind of like what Tranquil is saying, is the Cheeky and Chugu channel. I think there's more than those two, but that's just the name of the channel. Known them for a little while. Good channel. There's Champ also. I want to say, I think Champ is also on this channel, if I'm thinking correctly. Can somebody in the chat let me know if they know of this channel? I'm pretty sure that there's like a Champ that's in there also. They all kind of have their own like unique videos. I could be completely thinking of the wrong channel though. Like I said, you have so many cat channels, and you start to kind of uh, confuse them. Like, you know, no, this one's over here. No, they're over here, kind of thing. But I think there's Cheeky, Chagu, and I think there's Champ also. So I think there's three altogether. Raph, you also think Champ is there too? Yeah, I think so. I think so too, Raph. It's just it gets confusing sometimes having all the channels and all the cats. So trying to get to know to getting trying to get to know them better is my goal over the next few weeks and months as this continues. All right. And I think I have another page, and I only have one on here. Again, I'm just doing this alphabetically. So I had a few channels that were on here that I took off, but I'm going to put them back on when I get to them, such as Tranquil. You're on here. I have you off at the moment. I'm going to get you back on there when I get to the T's. The same with Renee, with Rascal and Lucy. Once I get back up to the R's, I'm going to get her back up on here. So there are some channels that I took out because I'm just alphabetizing these at the moment and doing it that way because it's just easier for me to do it that way. But the next channel and the last channel that I have on here on this particular list is the story of Princess Chico and her servant. So I want to say I'm pretty sure we're like out in Asia, Japan, um, somewhere, somewhere in that area, Asia, Japan, so somewhere in that part of the world. But I kind of like their videos. They always have like them as the servant, and Chico is kind of like this pampered kitty. And again, Chico is um, another stray kitty cat. So, I mean, always going to support those who are supporting stray cats or who are feeding stray cats, right? It's just how can you not? Because that's what we're here for, right? Is to support, especially these cat channels of these people that are trying to, do their best in like the part of the world that they live in. Another thing I'd like to also start to do that I've done a little bit kind of in the background of these things is finding out like how cats are treated where they live. For like example, Anne I know who lives in Turkey. I've talked to her a little bit just to kind of see how cats are treated in Turkey. I've talked to very briefly. When I say talk, is just commenting at the moment and just kind of back and forth with comments on their video with Raphael, um, who Selena Moonlight, that channel, and just kind of see how things are down in. I want to say I think it's Brazil. Um, Tranquil, yeah, you can absolutely suggest the channel, and you all can do that. So anytime. So here's the thing: anytime with these lives are going on, if there's a question, if there's a suggestion, then feel free to put it in the chat, and I will get to it. It might take me a moment to get to it, but I will definitely get to it. So yeah, what's your channel, Tranquil? I might already have it, maybe, but for others though. Because one thing I don't see, there's a lot of different cat channels out there, and I would just love for a lot of the cat channels to, kind of in a way create a community, right? And people can come in and we can discuss cats and we can talk cats, and I just think that's a good thing. Um, let's see. So Tranquil, Patty. Oh yeah, yep, definitely. I know of Patty and Willie. I don't remember. I know somebody in the group talked to me or recommended this channel to me. So I've been following them for the past maybe few months or so. Very supportive. Um, I see that in some of like Anu's videos, like Michiku, some of her videos, that they're always, giving her like super chats or super thanks, just to kind of help what's going on. Back when when Bless was still kind of fighting what was going on with him, I'd see that they would uh, they would donate to Anu through super thanks or super chats, and I see that she's still doing it now with Grace, because I know Grace at the moment was going through like that constipation issue. I I I don't know for sure if Grace is still having constipation. I'd have to check with Anu's like most recent video. But I also saw Anu was taking, I think it was Coco was the kitty's name, to the vet, just for I think some normal shots and everything. Um, so, but yeah, let me just kind of put in some things here. So my channel would be nothing without Patty. Patty is always supportive and super sweet. Patty is amazing. She always goes out to new. She always shouts out new channels to help them out. Patty gave me my start. She was my 13th sub. Oh, it's a long time ago then, Tranquil.
because I know you got like, I don't know, 4,500 subs or something like that. So that must have been a long time ago. So yeah, I just feel like, to me, I think I said this before, but I do want to say it again, that I feel like the cat community are in all honesty is like part of, or is kind of like the best community, or can be one of the best communities on this platform. Um, because I think most of the people that are behind the camera, they are the most supportive and most caring individuals like on YouTube. And I think their passion for cats, others can feel, and it's something that's like tangible. It's nothing against other communities whatsoever, but I do think that the cat communities are the best. So, in doing this show, um, part of the reason why is wanting to connect to, to kind of create a larger cat community, one where everybody can come in. So, my goal with this over time is to make this into a very kind of like a larger live. And what I mean by that is having a lot of cat community like members, if you will, come in so we can talk, we can share. Eventually, what I'd love to have is, um, let me see what Melinda, what are you saying here? I can't keep up and find some of these channels. Can you put the list on where we can find? Yeah, so Melinda, what I can do, excuse me, what I can do when I'm done with this live today, what I'll do in a little bit, I can't give an exact, because I don't want to say like 5 minutes and it's not there. And like, what are you doing? You said in 5 minutes. But a little later, I will put out a community post, and I'll drop a link. I'll create a link for the cat channels that are on that list. It's going to be a growing list, but I will put out a community post that has a link to those channels that I've mentioned over the last like 20 minutes or so. I can definitely do that. I would have nobody if it wasn't for your kind people. Well, it's appreciated, Tranquil. I'm glad that I'm glad that you found a good spot here, and a place that you can kind of come and feel safe, and just kind of feel comfortable with, and you can kind of be yourself, also in this place. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna start wrapping up here. 2 hours is usually my limit. I don't really care to go past that 2 minute time frame. So a couple things to think about, if you could kind of think, and I can come up with topics myself, obviously, but I like to ask for others to come up with topics, because I feel like if the host, or if myself, if I'm coming up with all these topics, then I don't feel it's like as engaging for those who are watching, right? Just my opinion. So, think of topics, and think of questions. Again, I can come up with these things myself, but I don't feel like it's quite as engaging if the person running it is like doing all the talking, or you're not as involved, because I know this is technically my live, right? But I like this to be kind of the cat community, like our live kind of thing, just not my live. It's a place where we can come and we can talk about those special felines, our kitty friends. Um, so, but well, Martha, I don't think I can help you with a car question, but go ahead. I'm just kidding. What's your cat question, Martha? What you got? So many channels, so little time. Yeah, it is definitely, it's difficult, Dirk. The more channels that you follow or that you try to support, it can be challenging, and you just got to prioritize the best you can. Maybe sometimes that means you don't like watch a person's like every single video because you don't have the time, but that doesn't mean you don't support them just because you don't watch every single video. Maybe it's every other video, or maybe you gotta, or maybe if they do lives, it's more important for you to watch their lives. It depends. It just depends. But I understand, and I think a lot of people understand that too. Um, Raf, I have no idea. I think you would know that question, Raf, better than I. I think you're the car guy on here. Um, Let me see. What is Martha asking? Are there symptoms to look for before you get? Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Uh, two big ones. Actually, three. Uh, is the cat drinking more water? Are you noticeably seeing them drink more water? To kind of connect with the water drinking, are they peeing more? Now, if you have a lot of cats, it's going to be difficult. You might have to isolate the cat for a couple of days or a couple of nights to see if they are drinking and peeing more. But one of the top signs, one of the first signs for cat diabetes, drinking more water, and with drinking more water, obviously peeing more, right? Another sign, usually when it comes to kind of like an earlier sign of cat diabetes, is they're losing weight for no reason. They're healthy, right? They're eating well, but they're losing weight. Now it's tricky though, because losing weight and eating well could also be a sign of hyperthyroidism, could also be a sign of kidney failure, could be a sign of cancer, could be a sign of a few other things. But back on the diabetes, drinking more water, peeing more, losing weight. Another weird one, their coat. And again, this could be multiple diseases, but I'm trying to stay just on your question with diabetes. Their coat can become not shiny, right? It can become dull. It doesn't, you feel a cat's coat, it's smooth, right? Or you can see a cat's coat and their coat is sleek. But when it starts to look kind of like dull or kind of matted almost somewhat, it could be another like early telltale sign that there's something going on with potentially with diabetes. Also, again, because we have a diabetic cat, so it's kind of something that's really important. Is you'll notice when you rub your cat, like when you brush them, that they're going to have some more dandruff too. For whatever reason, there's something to do with like the skin cells or something. I forgot exactly what it was, but they will be more dandruffy being diabetic, or maybe being pre-diabetic. Let me see what you're saying, Martha. Okay, my vet just said blood work, but there are other things. So if they just said blood work and that's it, I mean, blood work will show, especially if they're able to get the P, because then that's going to test the blood glucose level, right? So it's it could be out of whack, it could be like way high. This is tricky, but if you do have a cat and they do become diabetic, the best thing an owner, see, it's even myself, I got to get that word out of my mind. The best thing a cat parent can do is to try to learn how to do blood glucose tests at home. They're called blood curves, glucose curves, and try to do that at home. That is another topic that I can definitely talk about in the future. But I would, I don't know, I would think maybe ask your vet more questions and see, because I'll be honest with you, a lot of vets, they don't have a ton of experience when it comes to cat diabetes. It is tricky. We have our Zelda. She's 18. No, she's not 18. She's 19, and she's had diabetes for 8 years. And we've had struggles trying to get her regulated. Um, we've had to change foods. We've had to increase her insulin dosage. It is tricky, but I would ask some questions to your vet, like what is your experience level? And here's the thing: never be afraid to um, ask questions to your vets, um, because a good vet will explain things. They will take that time to talk to you, whether it's 5 minutes or 20 minutes. They will take that time to talk to you about what exactly is going on. If the vet doesn't know, or if the vet's saying, I'm not sure, or let me look into it, that's fine. But you might want to think about getting another vet. Um, because you, as the cat parent, and the vet, you need to be on the same page and work as a team. Because if you're not, then the only thing that's going to happen is just the cat's going to suffer in the end. So just always be Just always be, always never be afraid to talk to your vet. Never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to challenge. I'll use that word challenge. Don't be afraid to challenge your vet on things either. Advocate the best that you can. Um, Let me see. But I'm going to do blood work soon, but one thing at a time. Okay. Yeah, it's tough, Martha. I completely understand. When it comes, and that's another topic. I'm going to start wrapping up here because it's almost 6 o'clock. But that's definitely another thing. That's why I wanted to talk about kind of the expense of having kitties. I almost said owner again. I kind of screw up sometimes still. It's a hard word to get out of your brain and to stop using it. It's so ingrained in your mind, right? Or at least for me it is, and I think for everybody it is. It's so ingrained, that word owner. But yeah. So, anyways, I think that is it for now. Let me just real quickly say what Tranquil. If Yvette doesn't want you to ask questions, doesn't want to answer your questions, and move on. Yeah, definitely. Don't be afraid to find another vet. Yeah, there's great vets out there, and there are vets that probably shouldn't even be in the field. Should not even be in the field, and I've seen both. But anyways, I will I will let everybody go. I appreciate everybody's time. I hope we learned a little. I hope we had some fun, and we're here for our cats. My Linda, if you happen to still be listening, I will get that. I will get on that, posting those cat channels for you in a community post after this. There's two lives that are in the Modern Day Breakfast Club. I just want to kind of mention this for just a brief second, if interested. You have Rev Rat Rides at 7, on mental health, and then you have Nick, who's a newer one, but wholesale or whole country foods, whole Southern foods. I'm sorry, who also I think is doing a live at 7 o'clock also. So you have choices. Hang out in one, don't do whatever. I mean, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you where to go, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. That's not my case. That's not my thing. But anyways, I thank you all for coming in. Thank you, Raf. Thank you, Raf. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Tranquil. Thank you, Renee, if you're still listening. Bert, if you're still listening, and whoever else might be on here. Just like I said, try to think of some cat topics if you can for next week. Try to think of some questions if you can for next week. And if you know of any cat channels that you want to highlight on here, then please do. Or if you know of any cat channels that maybe, hey, come to this live and you might learn something, or you might have a good time. So then I would appreciate that also. So until then, I will say adios. I appreciate, love y'all, and take care. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.